Hello everybody, it's Pat from Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to work on showing you how to work with Brazilian waxed cord. It's a cord that comes in spools, plus we have broke it down into a 10-meter length as well because there's quite a bit of yardage in a spool. It comes in a lot of different colors. I've just pulled a few here to show some colors, and I've got some beautiful brights and some earthy tones and kind of a big variety of color. So what I wanted to make with it was a multi-strand bracelet, and I've done up a few strands here already, and I'm going to show you how I made these strands. Now I've got some beads all put onto head pins, and that's what I've got here, and a little hook on the top, and those hooks are going to go into the knots of the bracelet. So I'm going to take this cord and I'm going to do some knots, and I'm going to do them approximately every inch, or in centimeters. That's another story, right? Okay, so we're going to hook this little hook into that knot. I've left the hook open slightly, and then I need my pliers, my round nose pliers, to close that half circle there, totally closed, and then we'll tighten up the knot. And then I have some metal that I'm going to just use as floaters that sit onto the piece of cord as well. So I'll just run one of those on there, and then another knot. And you can place the knots by just holding it with your one hand as you draw the knot up with the, like, right and left. I'm right-handed, so I would draw the cord up with my right hand and hold with my left hand, which works quite efficiently. So I'm going to close that one up, and then once we've closed it up, we tighten the knot. And we'll run another floater metal bead on there to add some more design, and maybe another one. I've got a collection here that's going to go onto this whole cord here as I finish it up. So, and I like to keep the other one beside so that we can see what coloring works well together. First couple you make, of course, it doesn't matter, but once you get making the last one or two, it becomes a little more important to lay out your colors and your fullness of the bracelet. Okay, I'm going to close that up. And I've used a second technique in this bracelet as well, which maybe I will go on to do that now that I've shown you how to do the ones with the knots. And I can finish that up off camera for you. But I've got two cords here, which I put a knot at the end, and I'm going to hook that under my clipboard clip here, just to hold it down nice and steady. And now what I'm going to do for this one is to put twist into this cord, and that adds a little fullness. That's this cord here that's in the bracelet. I'm going to make another one to show you how I've made it. So I take the cord and we just add twist by twisting all the same direction. And once I've got it so that it's as twisty as it'll go and it kind of buckles a little bit, then I can put a clamp on it to hold it from unwinding. Now that's the one cord, so we'll do the second one the same way. Just twist, twist, twist. Once I've got the twist in it so that it's quite twisty, I'll take the clamp off, and we release the cord on the other end, and it all ravels together. It's like making rope, and you get a nice twisted cord. So I have to tie a knot on the end on this one in order that the twisting will not unravel on me while I'm working. So that's the gray one that I'm working on. I'm going to move on now to the Okay, I'm back with another version here. I've got a pink and purple combination, and I've already made several strands of that. I'm going to hook the strands that I've already made up here so that I can see what I've got. And this one I've done a braiding, so I've got 3 cords to work with. We'll hook the loose one here under the clip again. So the 3 cords. I'm going to start by doing some plain braiding so that I've got a little bit of area to against the start. So right over left, left over right. And with the wax cord you can give it a press and it holds it in nice and firm. It's very handy to work with. Also the wax on the cords is really nice on the hands. At first it feels a bit sticky, and I know it doesn't feel nice to start with, but once you've worked with it a while, it feels like a fancy manicure, and your hands are all nice and soft. So, okay, the middle cord, I'm going to add a bead. So we'll put the bead on here and draw it up so that it's up nice and snug, and then I'm going to work the braid around that bead, just like so. Go around with your right over left and left over right, and continue with the regular braid. Again, just give it a little press every now and again so that it holds those stitches in nice and tidy. And once I'm away from the bead a little bit, you can pick these up, and it makes it a little bit easier to braid. So you get your braid going one over the other, like that. Okay, so I'm going to abandon this strand and go on to working with doing the ends. So on the purple and pink, I've got all these ends with their knots cut off. So I'm going to gather them all together and make sure I get them so that they're all in a fairly level stage here. And I've chosen a ribbon end to go on to this combination. I'm going to give it a squish to get them all nice and flat together. Again, handy thing to have this cord because it sticks to itself. And here's a ribbon end. It's a little clamp that you put in the cords, and then we're going to push it down. So of course, always glue. I love my glue. I'm going to put some glue in first, and I'm going to put glue on the ends of the my cords. So just a tiny bit of glue because it'll squish out to some extent. I'm not going to be able to use it all anyway. So another tiny bit to go in on all my cords here. Get them leveling out a little bit. Maybe I got one extra. It's a little bit longer. Because there's not a lot of room in the ribbon end, you want to make sure the cords are quite even. So now they're going to go to the ribbon end. Oh, I got one wayward one there that doesn't like to stay. So once they're all in there, then we're going to take our chain nose pliers and gently push down on this. Center first, and then out to one side and out to the other side. So this ribbon end has a hook here, so then onto this hook is going to be a jump ring that's then going to hook into a lobster clasp. That's what I'm going to use for my end. So I have a little bit of cord poking out, so we'll just give it a little poke in. And then my chain nose pliers, give it a little harder push. So that's one way of ending a multi-strand cord like this. And on the gray one, I'm going to do another style where I take the grouping of all of my little ends here, because I want to put these into a little bead cap, which is what I have prepared here. And so what I want to do with this one is I'm going to take a fine wire, 28 gauge wire, and I'm going to do a binding on the ends here. This could be done for the ribbon clasp as well. So in fact, if you want to keep it flat, you want to weave back and forth with the wire rather than just doing a wrap like I'm doing for the cord or the. Okay, so then I'm going to just cut off this excess. And then the little cap is going to go right over top and cover up that wire. Being I use silver wire, if a little bit of the wire shows, it's not going to be too serious, but it shouldn't. I should be able to have it tucking right in there. If not, you can always trim your cords a little bit before you go into the cap. Get this little goo in there. And I wanted to thank everybody too for the comments that you send in after we do these videos. They're very much appreciated. You know, we put time into getting the videos all together, and it's always very nice to be able to read that people are watching and appreciating it. So thank you very much for doing that, ladies and men. Okay, so that's the cap in, and then we'll just do the other ends, and I'll show you a picture when I get them all done. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.